Hey, it's John Nolan here. One of the most important things in my life is the health and the well-being of my family. And one of the products that we absolutely love to use and have had amazing results with is Z-Stack. It's Dr. Zelenko's Immunobooster, and it really does the job absolutely well. Now, as most of you know, Dr. Zelenko recently passed away, but he's left behind a legacy with Z-Stack and his other products, and also the Dr. Zelenko Freedom Foundation. So every time you purchase Z-Stack to help boost your immune system and the immune system of your family, 10% of the profits will also automatically go to the Freedom Foundation. So I encourage you to check it out, Z-Stack by Dr. Zelenko. Use the link and the coupon code in the description, save, and also help the foundation. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, it's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for joining us for another inspired conversation. Today, we welcome back our friend and frequent guest by now, Greg the Hydrogen Man. Thank you so much for joining us again today.
Absolutely, John. Thanks for having me. This is an exciting one today.
This is super exciting. Thank you for coming on, Greg. Greg and Kristin and I, we are in constant communication, and every now and then, just at, 11 p.m., there'll be a text by Greg that comes in. I have super exciting news to share. Something amazing has happened. Greg, this is exactly what today's video is about. You have super exciting news to share. Something amazing has happened. Before we go into it, we don't claim to give medical advice. We simply share experience. So, Greg, the stage is yours. What has happened?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm not making any medical claims. But what's exciting is that, I've worked with a lot of people with a lot of different ailments throughout the years. But the most recent one was something that I didn't think that I could do a lot for this person because they're deemed terminal. They have colon cancer that actually spread into their lymphatic system, into their lungs, and into their liver. And they were given, 6 months. That's what they were given. Now, if they would have gone with conventional treatment, they were told that they could maybe have a year, maybe two. And I'm thinking, well, not just me, that particular person said the same thing. They're like, well, geez, even with conventional treatment, I only get an extra 6 months on top of it. And I'm going to be sick from all the stuff that they're going to be giving me. And he really wanted to follow my protocol. And this is someone that I actually personally helped. And what was so exciting, which is why I messaged you guys, is there was he'd been on the protocol for about 2 months, maybe 2.5. It was right around that time. And he got a scan. Of course, I actually thought that the scan was going to show that everything had been growing more, spreading more, because this is such a dire situation that in the world of medicine, if you get no treatment, 0% survivors after 5 years. If you get treatment, only 5% of people survive. So this is a really bad one. And in the end, they showed that his tumors have actually been shrinking dramatically in the liver, in the lymphatic system, in the lungs. And they're trying to get more details on the colon because somehow the imaging didn't quite catch that. But the fact that we're already seeing major shrinking is like a really big deal.
And there's a great element to this story that I love particularly. Of course, the greatest of them all is that this is happening, that there is obviously a process happening within that person's body that seems to be beneficial to their health. But what has also happened is, as I understand, you've been contacted by their doctor as well. Is that true?
This was crazy. So there's actually multiple doctors involved in this, but the very next day I get a phone call from a doctor and he said, I saw the results. I want to know everything. This guy wants to know everything that I'm doing because this is not normal. I mean, we're talking about an industry that has spent into the billions, maybe even to the trillions. I don't even know. I mean, it's been a long time into cancer research. And all of a sudden, this guy sees results like this and he wants to know. He's like, he clearly wants to know what's going on. And so I spent a little bit of time with him explaining what it is that I'm doing. And he seemed almost confused about it because he couldn't understand my rationale for the things that I was doing. And then he ended up, I could tell by speaking with him that he was kind of confused. He's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? He doesn't understand. But even though I could feel almost a sense of skepticism about my methods, in the end, he said, well, regardless of whatever you're doing, he said, I can see that it's working. It's clearly working. And he said, and I really want to know. And it was funny because I asked him if he'd ever want to be on a podcast or anything. And he actually said, I have to decline because I'm afraid of losing my license if I come out and start speaking about this. And so that really shows us something is happening in the medical community, because the other doctor that's involved wants to stay like as far away from this as possible. He doesn't even want to know what it is that this guy's doing. Like the guy didn't want to know anything. This phone call came later from a different doctor, but it turns out that this other doctor told me, he said, the only reason I really want to know this is because I myself have cancer. That's why he was contacting me.
I'm sorry, Greg. The thing is, this is upsetting to me on so many levels, because it shows me really, and I don't mean to be rude, I don't know the doctor. This is just an assumption. But that seems like a very egotistical thing to say. Listen, the reason why I'm reaching out is because I myself am sick, and now this might help me because I don't really believe in the money medicine system, apparently. So this is cynical to me, but truth is, I think you're doing the exact right thing, because if you actually help this doctor, his mind, his heart might shift too. I think that's the best we can hope for. And we do it, truth be told, we do it for them, especially for those who are still so ignorant to the amazing truths that are not miracles. You're not providing miracles to people. This is so important to understand. You're just exploring what nature and what true medicine has to offer, and how we can support our bodies. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm drinking here? Hydrogen water from the Holy Hydrogen Machine. And I'm only drinking this because Greg taught us, Greg helped us. He's been on our channel a couple times, 3 times now, I think. So we'll post the videos here and there and everywhere. But Greg, more importantly, you have decided, and we've talked about how to do this, that you wanted to share this protocol with a larger audience. And obviously going on this particular platform that we're on right now does not work. I mean, you couldn't say the thing. You couldn't even say the words that are in the protocol, and boom, the video would be gone. So we all have talked, and we have, received some counseling on this and some advice on this. And we decided the best way to move forward is to put it on our separate locals community platform, on a locals platform. And there's a small fee for those who would like to know Greg's protocol. We'd like to invite you all to come over. This fee is part of the protection that also gives us a legal protection, which unfortunately is in this day and age is important. But Greg, who would this protocol be beneficial for? Who do you think could benefit from following such a protocol?
Well, personally, I think it would benefit most people. I mean, a lot of the protocol is the way that I actually just live on a daily basis. Though when it comes to something like cancer, there are definitely other things that are implemented that are more aggressive as far as basically just getting yourself healthy. I will follow the more aggressive parts of the protocol periodically. I don't do it regularly. So it's almost like a cycle in life. There's times when you do fasting, times when you don't. But when you're dealing with something like this, there's a specific part of, for example, just fasting. That's just one part of it. There's a lot of parts to it. And so it's this whole overall thing. It's not just a silver bullet, which I know everybody wants a silver bullet, and then I wish there was something that easy, but it's a combination of things, and they work synergistically. And that was the part that the doctor had a tough time understanding, because they just want a silver bullet. They just want one pill or chemo or whatever it is that they do. But, overall health, this kind of doesn't work that way. Before
we invite people over to the protocol itself, have you seen it work before this particular patient? And how long have you been using, the similar way of living, if you will, that resembles that protocol?
Yeah, well, this protocol ultimately is what saved my life, but I've been modifying it and improving it and learning more and more. And I have used it with other people, obviously, including myself, but there was another gentleman who had testicular cancer. And in his particular case, everything went away after he followed the protocol. The thing is that the reason that I was so excited about this one is because colon cancer is really nasty. And even with conventional treatment, your odds of making it are just not very good. And the fact that I'm witnessing, and I'm trying to actually get the scans. I'm trying to get my hand on the scan so I can show the before and after images, but I've been having trouble getting them, but I'm working on it. Is just so amazing, because again, we're talking about an industry that has spent billions at least in this type of research. And the fact that I'm not a genius. I don't even have a lab. I don't have all this special funding. And somehow I was able to figure out something that I've now seen working the way that it is. It boggled my mind. I did not expect this at all. And that's why I'm so excited, because I'm thinking about all the people out there who are suffering. And I think it would help a great deal of people. I think it would. I really do believe that.
And Greg, last but not least, a disclaimer: all the products needed for this protocol are publicly available, and you are not even a producer of these products or anything. You're just providing this information. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all the different products that are needed are from many different companies. So, what I've done, even to find my own health, is I would always look for the best. Whatever it is that I'm looking for. If I'm looking for the best mushrooms, for example, I try to find the best company that has those. If I look for the best hydrogen, I look for the best company. Whatever product and then just ultimately what's the best and what works the best. And so that's why there's a lot of different companies that you'd have to get everything from. The only difficult part is if you're in the United States, I've sourced everything and figured out where to get it. When you're in another country, that changes things, because now you have to go and try to find either a similar product or possibly the same product when you're in another country. That's been the only difficulty that I found, because I'm not in those other countries. I found everything in America.
And a lot of times those same products will have a different name that they're branded under in a different country. So if you know what the active ingredient is and whatnot, that should make things easier to find. So, Greg, thank you for coming on, sharing. For me, this is the most exciting news, because we are showing that truly anything is possible when we tap into the right knowledge and wisdom. And now, without further ado, we want to invite you all to join us in the Inspired Community on Locals. The link is in this video description. And if this speaks to you, if you feel this might be something you could benefit from, please hop over and join Greg and I as we discuss this amazing protocol that is helping people everywhere. All right, tribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Greg, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you over there.